those that ganged up against Biafra. Today, are all of you not suffering? Black people, you don't reason very well. So though you may be suffering, but perhaps it's not really affecting you that much. That is who you are. Now she's crying and she's lamenting. That is the faith of people in the zoo. And that is what is going to keep happening unless you wake up today and do something about it, because the zoo is in a mess. The zoo is in a mess. And these are the people that promised you we are doing something. Oh, support to Buratai. Buratai, all of you were there when Buratai came to my house and killed 28 people. As a result, my parents died. I remember some of you clapping for Buratai. Buratai forgot. Instead of you morons to remind Buratai that his job is to go and fight insurgency, he diverted the armament for the insurgency to my house, to come and storm the house. All of you were clapping. People that were not armed. We had no arms, we had nothing. You allowed people with arms to attack civilians. And you were clapping. Today, are terrorists not attacking your villages? Where are the army to go? And of course, the army, they are busy looking for civilians to kill. Boko Haram insurgents have again attacked Kukawa town in Kukawa local government area of Borno State, killing many civilians who returned to the community last week. Military sources have now told, they are calling it, see how clever they are. They call it Boko Haram, but it's not. This is ISIS. It was ISIS that launched the attack. AP, news organization in the US, is on Newswire. It was ISIS that launched this attack. The zoo army had some weeks ago claimed that it embarked on clearance operation. We are clearing Baga. We are clearing everywhere. They are on the run, technically defeated. Today, they have taken over the community and they have hoisted their flag. What does that tell you about the zoo? But you people were the ones clapping for them when they moved. The same army that was meant to be fighting insurgency, they moved to the southeast to go and be killing civilians. All of you were clapping. You learned nothing from Biafra. Your wickedness, your betrayal, and your treachery during Biafra war did not teach any of you a lesson. Those of you that fought Biafra, are you not today fighting for your dear lives in the Middle Belt? Are you not fighting for your dear lives wherever you are? Yet you will never learn. The Boko Haram is there in Borno. They have raised their flag once again. And somebody will say, Baba, of course it's in a grave in Saudi Arabia. Mad people everywhere. Instead of you people to come out and say that this boy, you know, you people are so, you see, Nigerians are so daft. Instead of come out and say that this boy who is in Asorok is not the 78-year-old or 79-year-old Buhari that we know, and you solve all your problems. Rather than coming out and lamenting, doing video, everybody's crying, everybody's complaining, you people are daft. All you need to do is to solve all this problem is produce the president, produce the vice, come and do a live press interview. They will never do it. That is how you know that the dude is no longer there. He's in Saudi Arabia in a grave. The Sibanjo is missing, they chased him out because they don't want him to replace the dead Buhari. That's all. That's why they chased him out. I have all the details. Very soon I'll reveal it. That's why they chased him out of Asorok. Since April, he has not been seen anywhere. If they see him, they'll kill him. And all of you are so foolish because they know that, excuse me, Tinubu in the southwest will not be bothered. All he wants is presidency. So he will corral his people towards presidency. So any other impunity happening doesn't bother him. That is how a black man reasons. All you want is to be elected. Meanwhile, Boko Haram is busy hoisting their flag in Borno, and they're coming for you. As if the mess in the zoo wasn't enough. You have one country, you claim you are in a country. How can any country in the world run two systems? I keep asking them. The only way you can run two systems is if you have confederation, which was what Ojukwu went to negotiate in Aburi. But people who claim they went to school, people who claim they're professors, they're intellectuals, they're the elite, they are even more daft than wheelbarrow pushers. They are so useless. I can't understand them. How can you stay in a country you claim is secular? How can you stay in a country that claims it is a republic, operating under a common law system, and you sentence somebody to death? And the funniest thing is that there are people that went to law school in the zoo, claiming they are Muslim Lawyers Association, saying that the death sentence should be carried out immediately. You are in the same country. And some of you don't reason very well. How can you be in the same country with these divergent views? How is that possible? I went to the US and I was speaking to US government officials, and I said to them, You want us to be in one Nigeria? And they said yes. And I said, why don't you bring a part of Kandahar, maybe Saudi Arabia, and put it in Texas, and let us see how you're going to get on. One will be Sharia, the other will be common law. Tell me how you can run a viable society when you have two competing systems in the same geopolitical space. Just tell me. They couldn't answer. You are in a country where people are called to bar. They are barristers, they are lawyers and all that garbage. And some are saying, I am Islamic lawyer. Because of that, in Kanu, you can kill somebody. But it is a federal republic of Nigeria. Such contradictions and the inability of people who claim they are enlightened to resolve it is what I find very, very distressing. I must take some sip of water. These are the things that I find very, very disturbing with our people, that we cannot reason properly, that people who claim they went to school cannot articulate their way out of a very simple problem. Now, you say to them in the north, since you love your Sharia, stay with your Sharia now, and do Sharia, and hang whoever you want to hang. But for us, we're not going to hang anyone. One thing that a black person doesn't actually realize is that there is a reason why you have a standing parliament everywhere in the world, or in most countries of the world, because laws keep changing, they keep amending, they keep doing, they keep refining, they keep perfecting. Now, when you're running two systems, how can you perfect even one system? I'll give you an example. In our homeland, and we cannot speak our local dialect, and even the English, we are not very fluid at English language. It's happened to a lot of people. Speak your native tongue, you cannot speak. Okay, speak the grammar you claim you know how to speak, you cannot speak that either. You are stuck somewhere in the middle. The same thing happens in real life. When a nation doesn't have any direction, be it legal, be it social, be it cultural, be it anything, even religious, you are bound to fail. You are living in a republic where people go to vote. Yes, there is a separate law for, I can't understand. I fail to understand it. And that is the reason why we do the things the way we do it. That is the reason why I speak the way I do about black people. When I say that black people are naturally very daft, I know what I'm talking about. When I say that black people are naturally disposed to be very stupid, I know what I'm talking about. Look at Kanu, for example. How can you be in the same country? In any nation of the world, one law should apply to everybody, isn't it? How can you have two laws in a country? How? Just explain it to me. That tells you that the zoo should divide, and the sooner it divides, the better for everybody. So that Islamic lawyers can go to the north and Islamize all they like. They can hang, they can amputate, they can do whatever they like. But the thing about some of you is that you are unreasonable, you are unwieldy, your brain cannot process information. It cannot. It cannot. Tell me why you have two systems in one country. How? How is that possible? Even China and Hong Kong are fighting. China is saying to Hong Kong, this is your democracy, we can't stand it. This one country, two systems is not going to work. That's why they're rolling back on all the freedoms and all the liberal laws. China have seen it cannot work. You cannot have one country and two systems. Not impossible, but and I'm sure some of you write theses on it, on the Hong Kong riots, but you can never make the connection with your miserable existence in the zoo. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad that people are saying, do you know the funniest thing? What's his name? The Christian Association of Nigeria. You know what they said? The Christian Association of Nigeria said that they agree they can behead and they can kill, they can hang the blasphemer, so to speak. Do you know that? Christian Association. That is how toothless and useless they are. Over the years, they have been so intimidated and bribed into submission. Christian Association of Nigeria is saying that they can carry out the execution and they can kill somebody for singing. This is a country that has free speech in the constitution. So what they're saying is that Sharia law is superior to the constitution of the zoological republic. That's what they are saying. And when Sharia is superior to an Islamic country, but some of you cannot put 2 and 2 together to get 4, can you? You are black. You cannot reason very well. And what is our response to all this mayhem? They have formed Amoteku in the west. The Nigerian army, the zoo army, and the police have joined Mietiala to take terrorism to every home in the zoo. Some of you are complicit. Some of you are complicit in the conquest of your own villages without you knowing it. The same way that some of you never knew that when you were fighting Ojukwu, fighting Biafra, killing a lot of Biafrans, that you were actually killing yourselves. Now the time has come. Nobody to save you. But think of it this way. Had all of you then ganged up and said Ojukwu was right, go on, implement Aburi, you won't have. Because some of you, or should I say all of you, lack vision, you lack foresight, you lack understanding, you lack reasoning. You are not educated or not enlightened enough. That is how sad and how pathetic things are with some of you. And it is my responsibility and my duty to point that out to you. If nobody else will, I will. Now, given all the insecurity happening, there is a group, which I don't know where they come from, but GIA, which is Global Igbo Alliance Incorporated. They have called on the Igbo nation and her riverine brothers or neighbors to defend themselves, by which the whole of Biafra, and they don't want to use the word Biafra because they are scared. That's how they are. Why are they saying that we must defend ourselves? It is because of the continuous infiltration by large groups of terrorists into our territory. Have the governors done anything in the east? The answer is no. But they are all excellency. They've done nothing. They cannot rise up because I told them, you cannot do anything without us. You can't. Call it now. Nobody will attend. Try now and you see you will fail. Because we are the people and the people are us. IPOB means Indigenous People of Biafra. All over the place, the people are us. Have they done anything? The answer is no. Everybody's waiting for IPOB to do something. Do it on their own, they cannot. And because this very group, Globally Igbo Alliance, called for self-defense, everybody's not talking about self-defense. You know what they have done? Oh, dear me. Do you know what they have done? Instead of you to defend, you know what the Fulanis have done? They have used their police inspector general, used their police officers. You know what they're doing now? Fulani police officers in the south and police south, you know what they're doing? They are now doing house-to-house search, looking for weapons. But in the north, where terrorism is ravaging every nook and cranny, there is no house-to-house search for weapons. But in the south, instead of you to defend yourself, they will take whatever you have away from you. Does that tell you something? Does that tell you something? How useless they are. Police commissioners and their army counterparts, they are busy ransacking homes in the south, taking away guns that people have stockpiled to defend themselves against terrorists who are coming, and they know it very well, to clear the way for the terrorists to take over. I said to you before that, some of you are not discerning enough. When Mietiala said we are all over the country in all the 36 states, what they meant to say is that they have the army and the police at their beck and call, at their disposal. Most of them are terrorists. Most of the people you have in the army are terrorists. They are. Now, instead of us, the police are busy doing house-to-house search, looking for illegal weapons to pave the way for the terrorists to come and take over our land. And all of you are there, you just read it, it's in the Tribune newspaper, you just it's just one of those things, you go back to your big brother. I wish they can even hurry up, I'm telling you. Police begin house-to-house search to clear weapons. The Ogun State Police Command will soon begin a house-to-house search for illegal arms in the state. Can you believe that? They should kill. If you see them come close to your house, kill these idiots. They cannot go. These are the same police that they posted to Borno. They were crying. They brought out their wives to be crying. We are not going. We are police. We are not trained. But now you are trained to be going ransacking people's homes. People who are under siege. You heard that girl say that my fiance was killed and I was kidnapped. She's a Yoruba businesswoman. And you want to do house to house. Now, I'm asking the police, how do you want people to defend themselves against terrorists since you people cannot defend the society. How do you, so you want people to just stand there and be killed? That tells you they're working for Mieti Yala. There's some of you will not understand that, because some of you are not intelligent enough. You are not discerning enough to read the wall. The police are going, because every self-defense is everywhere. The Catholic bishop says self-defense. These are our people from here are saying self-defense. Everybody's talking about self-defense. They know now that you must defend yourself. Now that we are struggling to defend ourselves, the police are now saying we are going to do house. And I'm asking the police, why didn't you go to Borno to do house-to-house search to stop Boko Haram? Why didn't you go to Zamfara to do house-to-house search? Why don't you go to Katsina, where bandits are everything, to do house-to-house search? It is in Ogun State you do house-to-house search. Because they don't want you to defend yourself. So you must understand the mindset of the Janjaweed. They planned this many years ago. And it's unfortunate that they can go to an Efulefu and give Efulefu 500,000 naira and he start writing rubbish. Like Nwabu for whatever the idiot's name is. That's what they do. Now they will not, all these Efulefus, all these professional petition writers, they won't sit down and ask themselves and ask this useless police commissioner, why do you want to search for illegal weapons in Ogun State when terrorists are busy killing people and you are unable to defend the communities? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That the zoo is gone. And some of you are still sleeping. By the time you wake up, the Janjaweed will take over everywhere. And by then, you'll understand what you have done to yourselves. You understand? And they're killing them in the battlefield. They are killing them. 3 soldiers died, 2 wounded as troops battle bandits in Niger. That's the language they understand. That is what they like. These are the same people coming and killing civilians every blessed day. In a little battle, they are dying left, right, and center. Because nobody is there to help them. There is no coalition against Biafra. The Britain, Russia, Egypt, OAU, everybody fought on their side. But today, it is very clear, isn't it? Abundantly clear to all and sundry that the zoo is in one almighty mess and that their soldiers cannot fight either. All they do is try and kill civilians. That's all they do. What else can a zoo army personnel do if not to kill people? ISWAP, ISIS has taken hostage hundreds of people in Borno. Police go there and do house-to-house search. Army leave and do the fighting where ISIS is battling. Boko Haram is there, Ansaru is there, Al-Qaeda, everybody is there battling. Burata, of course, I told you there's no Burata. You thought I was joking. Where is he? You cannot see him anymore. You know, he loves hogging the microphone. They say he has a snake farm. He loves, where is he? I told you he's gone and you never see him again. Nobody, you will never see Buratai again in this life. All you will see are deep fake videos and newspaper press statements. You can never ever see him give any live press interview again. Never. You know what is a live press interview? Like somebody's walking out of a meeting and pressmen will rush you to ask you questions. You can never see Buratai again. And that army has, you know that of course Elohim is fighting for us. That army has collapsed. ISIS in West Africa. And who set up ISIS in West Africa? It's not the dead Buhari. But all these professional petition writers, all these idiots with Biafran sounding names, talking nonsense, I want to ask them a simple question. Why don't you investigate out how ISIS came to be? Why is there no ISIS in Ghana? There is no ISIS in Benin Republic, no ISIS in Togo, none in Cameroon. It's only in the zoo you have ISIS. Why? Because of the son of the founder of Boko Haram, Al-Banawi. Al-Banawi was arrested. I keep telling you this. Al-Banawi was in court at the same time that I was in court. He was released on the orders of the dead Buhari to go and form an armed organization to rival Boko Haram. That's all. And today you have this trouble. Just imagine how many people have died as a result of Fulani duplicity and complicity in the destruction of lives and properties, yet all of you want to give them presidency for life. How many terror groups, I ask you? How many terror groups? Zoo animals. How many terror groups will the Fulanis form before you understand their true motive? How many more will they form? Why can't some of you be able to use your brain, for goodness sake? They have taken hundreds of hostages. It's all over the world. Maybe by this time tomorrow the news will die down. No, nobody will do anything. But Britain is there. Has Britain said anything? As the owner of the zoo, the former colonial master, they said anything? The answer is no. They won't say, why won't that woman say something? Because she has been compromised. She has taken her $1 million stashed away in a safe account somewhere in the Cayman Islands. So it is see no evil, hear no evil. They can kill as many people as possible. All these ambassadors, they've been bribed. Once you come, they give you money. Can you imagine any other sitting governor saying that election observers will go back in body bags and that person will go scot-free? They will
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra HAUSA-SERVICE coming to you via the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra land. Without taking much time, I will hand over the platform to the head of the Directorate of States of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Mazi Chika, Edoziem. Mazi, please, the platform is yours. Take over, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Mazi, Jonathan. Good evening from me from here. I hope you're hearing me, right?
The whole world is hearing you crystal clear.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night to you, great and wonderful people of Biafra. My name is Mazi Chika Edoziem. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in Olu province of Biafra land. And by the grace and mercy of Chika, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of Directorate. I bring you tonight, the 3rd of May 2020, greetings from the Supreme Leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi, Kanu. I wish to let all of IPOB family members worldwide to know that as always, we are in the thoughts and prayers of our leader, despite and irrespective of the condition he has found himself in. His thoughts and prayers are with us, that we may remain as devoted and as committed as we are supposed to be, while concentrating on the work before us. We also must not fail. We must have him in our own thoughts and our own prayers on a daily basis, so that every plan and machinations of the enemy will not have power over him. Great Biafrans, this month of May is a very crucial month for IPOB worldwide family. And we must brace up for the battle ahead of us. There shall be neither from us, there shall be neither retreat nor surrender in our quest for freedom. Biafra is the only agenda that this very great movement, IPOB, that Onyendu has put in place and that he is leading and commanding. The restoration of Biafra is our only objective. It is our only agenda, and it is the only destination that we are heading to. A free, independent, and sovereign Biafran nation. Biafrans, the least every true and genuine IPOB family member could do at this very moment that we have found ourselves in is to follow the path already established and mapped out by our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. That is the least we can do, because we cannot say, nobody can say, if you are truly a Biafran, if you are truly part of this noble family, if you are truly an IPOB hardcore, you cannot say that you have not imbibed the knowledge and wisdom that Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, during his daily broadcasts or weekly broadcasts, has imparted upon all of us individually and collectively. Therefore, having that in mind, the least that is expected of us is to remain very committed to that part that he already established and mapped out for us to work upon. The essential requirements to work this part that our leader has already ordained for us. Being focused, dedicated, devoted, committed, and of course without any form of distraction whatsoever. That essential requirement for us to be able to, remain on that path that he has, set up for us or set up for us. The requirements for each and every one of us to be dedicated to this very noble cause, to be committed to it, are that we must be absolutely disciplined in carrying out our duties in accordance with our guiding fundamental principles. Discipline is key in our ability and our willingness to carry out our functions in accordance with our guiding fundamental principles and policy. Whether you are a principal servant or a family member, the requirement of discipline goes pari passu or hand in hand with our being unqualified loyal, our being unequivocally loyal, our being totally loyal to the leader of this great movement and to the structure he put in place. I am not going to be tired of harping on the need of loyalty, because a movement such as ours, a movement that has one single objective, which we know will not be to some extent to advantage of certain people or certain parts of the contraction called the zoo. Our being very disciplined will make it impossible for us to allow a weak angle from which they can come in and try to destabilize or derail our march to freedom as a free people. May 18th, 2022 is the court date for our case in Abuja High Court. Our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, will be appearing in court, and we must, as we are accustomed to doing, we must solidarize with him both physically and spiritually. We must do all that is within our power to ensure that those around us understand, and those far away from us also understand that we are total in sync with our leader and totally supportive of the difficulties he is passing through on our behalf at this very moment. We shall embark on that date, as we have always done, on protests in the diaspora. Please, this is also important. We must not be tired of organizing protests in the diaspora. This is at least one thing we can do without being concerned of any crazy security operatives being trigger happy or things like that. So those of us in diaspora, the least we can be doing until our leader is released to us is that we must keep that that flag flying. We must keep in the conscience and before all humanity that a prisoner of conscience in the person of Nnamdi Kanu is being tortured in every manner one can think about it by the Nigerian Gestapo secret police. We shall therefore, like I said, embark on diaspora worldwide rallies. In the diaspora, we should embark on worldwide rallies, and we must continue our unceasing supplication to Chukwu to take absolute control on that very date, 18th of May 2022. We must show presence at the Abuja High Court. And like we did wonderfully at the last court hearing, we have exhibited the kind of discipline we exhibit in Abuja, the seat of evil of the zoo, is something very, very novel to those people, because they have been expecting that they will, in a way or somehow, try to provoke us and then, create a situation for them to commit their atrocities on our people. But our people, I must commend all of you that have been to this very moment, that has been present during these court cases and court hearings. You have been doing very well, and do not relent. Until our leader is released, we must be in that court and show that what he is going through is for the benefit of the whole of Biafran nation and Biafran people. Therefore, those going to Abuja and while in Abuja, you must be very, very at alert, and of course, again, be very security conscious of your environment. You must look out for one another. And in Biafra land, we shall lock down the length and breadth of Biafra land with a total sit at home. We must lock down Biafra land from the riverine to the hinterland. We Biafrans, we must lock down Biafra land, and this must be loud and clear, expressing our disgust and of course our solidarity with our leader Nnamdi Kanu on the 18th of May 2022, and of course subsequently, I believe there is going to be 2 court sittings or 2 court hearings on that this very same month, 26 if I get it clear, or 22. But we start with 18 first, and as we go forward, what we have to know is that every day that our leader remains in the custody of the enemy and will come to court, that day is a day of solidarity with him, whether in Biafra land or in the diaspora. And the form of solidarity we must take has been expressly made clear here. For those of us in Biafra land, it's going to be a civil disobedience kind of protest where we will lock down Biafra land and sit in our homes. And while we sit in our homes, we continue to pray. We continue to ask the spirits that guide our land to take charge and take control. May 30th, because I said that this month of May is a crucial one for us, and we must pay attention. For all that we may sacrifice, we are sacrificing for the betterment and for the well-being of the future of our children and our children's children. Therefore, the little inconvenience that we may have during this very, very important struggle in our life, we must count them as nothing to compare to the benefits that will be accruing to us as a free people in a free, independent, and sovereign nation called Biafra. May 30th is the Biafran Heroes and Heroines Remembrance Day. Again, this is our usual act, if I'll put it that way. This is what we usually do. It has become a ritual for us that every 30th of May, Biafrans all over the world must remember those who died for this very cause that we are pursuing. And in doing this, what we will do is that Biafra land will be on a total lockdown on the 30th of May 2022. This total lockdown is in recognition of their sacrifice, of the sacrifices of our heroes and heroines. Many of them, our brothers, our sisters, our uncles, our parents and grandparents, and cousins and aunts, whatever, each family in Biafra land had lost at the minimum 1 or 2 members of our family during the genocide of 1967 to 1970. That they were able to stand their ground is the reason why we are, many of us, in fact, is the reason why the indigenous people of Biafra have not been wiped out to this very day. Therefore, the least we can do as well is to ensure that we recognize their sacrifices and appreciate the supreme price that they pay on our behalf. The IPOB family in the diaspora will observe this day in a town hall format with lectures and or symposia, which must of course be preceded by the usual prayers in honor and in remembrance of our heroes and heroines. Great Biafrans, the intel at our disposal is that the governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, he has concluded arrangements to invite the man in Aso Rock to Ebonyi State, to Biafra land. And let me state here very, very clearly Let me make this very, 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 very clear to David Umahi. The president, the person parading himself as Buhari, this man is not welcome in Biafra land. It does not matter what your agendas may be. It doesn't make any difference. The point is that the president of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, Jubril Buhari, or whatever his name may be, is not welcome in our land. While our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is being starved and tortured by the same zoo president Gestapo police called the notorious DSS. You are not welcome in our land. And we will show you that you are not welcome in our land. David Umahi and the politicians, if you people will take your hand to get the wood infested, the ant-infested wood in your own bedroom, and lizard will come visiting when that is the case. Buhari is not welcome, whatever his name may be, or whatever the person is that is pretending to Buhari. You're not welcome in Biafra. Why? You have our leader, the leader of more than 75 million Biafrans. You have him incarcerated, you have him being tortured, and you want to come to our land to do what? To mock us. We must remember that the security agency, or whatever called the DSS, they have become worse than its predecessor, the former Nigerian security organization, the NSO. Very, 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 very notorious for acts of human rights abuse and violation. These infamous security organization or outfit, which incidentally, as we all are aware, was also an instrument of oppression used by the then person that was real General Muhammad Buhari in power. Yes, of course, he did not set up the NSO, but when he came in, he found it very, very, handy, and he began to use them to hunt politicians from the south. We know his records. We know his records. For example, take our elder, the late Ekweme, for example, a vice president, right? Who is not on whose table the box does not stop. It stops on the president's table. And who was the president then? Shagari. And what happened? Buhari, like he is, like he was then, and like they are doing now, Barabo kind of thing. Very, very tribalistic individual then, and as always. He sent Shagari to what? To a house arrest, and took his deputy, who is not the power, who is not the president, and put him in curriculum. That is Buhari, the then General Buhari for you. And the same agenda is what these people are now using, this infamous DSS to continue to hunt and hound politicians that do not agree with them. And of course, those who have different views as they may have. We understand that Dave Umahi is inviting Buhari on May the 5th and the 6th to Ebonyi State. I think if it has not already been done, we will be posting the venues where this man supposedly will be going to do what? I don't know what actually they want. It's only in the zoo that when you are employed to do a job for the people, and when you have done maybe 0.5% of one single job, you will call a party and make it a big thing that the president must come and do what and commission such project. It is only in the zoo that such things will happen. But nevertheless, we are aware that 5th and 6th of May has been penciled down for the coming of this man in Biafra land. If David Umahi likes, if he likes, he can keep the impostor and pretender for 1 week in Ebonyi State, and we shall lock down Biafra land for the same number of days. As long as this man is in our land, there shall be total lockdown in Biafra land. To drive home our message that the zoo cannot illegally detain the leader of the Biafran people in their dungeon and then hope to be given a red carpet welcome by Biafrans whose own leader, this man parading himself as Buhari, is starving daily and torturing physically and mentally. We will not welcome any Nigerian zoo president in our land, and we will show physically and very actively our displeasure on any day that this man called David Umahi will pencil down as a day that Buhari will. We give them our treatment. We know what to do, and of course we will carry it out to the letter. Great Biafrans, Obibo 2020 is an unforgettable year in the minds of Biafrans worldwide. When we remember Obibo, water run away my eyes. This is some of the songs that we used to sing when we, do our student union struggle back then during the time of our studies. When we remember the atrocities that was committed by Wike in Obibo, water run away our eyes and run down my eyes. When I remember that Wike subjected our women, the pride of Biafra, they are our women. He subjected them to be, oh my goodness, I don't know the proper word to use, but all of us understand that a woman has needs, and these needs are needs that pertain to cleanliness. This man called Wike left our women for months, or for weeks, or even months, to be with one cloth, one underwear, no water, nothing, no food. He humiliated us to the extent that even those who were our enemies were wondering what is going on. That was Obibo 2020 for us. It is an event and a year that will never be forgotten. It is the year that Nyesom Wike used the Nigerian army and police to destroy the lives and properties of Biafrans living in Obibo. It is the year that Wike initiated a wholesale massacre and kidnap of our people in Obibo, and send them to their early graves in the northern part of the zone. While this atrocity was ongoing, while this injustice was ongoing, while our people were suffering in Obibo, those that like to be addressed as our elders of the land, they became blind, deaf and dumb at the same time. These elders, so-called, they did not see the daily spilling of the blood of their children on the streets of Obibo. These elders, they did not hear the wailing and cries of their children undergoing physical and psychological torture at the hands of the Nigerian Fulanized security apparatus. And these elders, they refused to raise their voice against the killings and wholesale evacuation of their children to death camps in northern Nigeria at the behest, at the instigation of Governor of River State called Nyesom Wike. Our elders, they saw nothing, they had nothing, and they could not speak. Now, after all this has, has passed, but not forgotten, not forgiven, to add salt to our injury, to add salt to the injury of Biafrans, to the mourning that we have still not been able to come over, of our youths being massacred on the streets of Obibo. Igwe Achebe, the Igwe of Onitsha. In fact, he urinated on the spilled blood of these brave Obibo Biafrans by inviting Wike to the heartland of Biafra to come and mock those he murdered. Igwe Achebe, we did not hear you speak when your children were being killed, they were being massacred. Even some of them went to Wike in Iguacha to see if, like, they are hungry, always hungry, looking for where they can get crumbs. They went there and they were singing, Wike Kaibesu. These are your elders. And when we are angry with them, they say that we are intransigent. When we do not want to even listen, hear anything from them, they say that we are stubborn. But what have you? Onobundi, you are the people, like when they say in our language, they say that elder does not stay in the house and a feathered goat will give birth. A goat will give birth while tethered. On the rope, tethered on the rope. These are the elders that you have. And we wonder sometimes truly if there is still any true and honest elder in Biafra land. Igwe Achebe invited Wike to come and do what? And to mock the blood that he spilled, to mock those that he murdered. This is unacceptable to us, and the IPOB leadership is hereby suspending all contact with the Igwe Achebe-led Council of Traditional Rulers, Bishops, and Archbishops of Southeast. Forthwith, we are cancelling and suspending further communication with this council. Because if your leader, who is Achebe, Igwe Achebe, is inviting a murderer of his children with a red carpet, I don't see any reason why we will even have any I don't see any point of any meeting point between the IPOB and this very, very council. Some of these so-called elders are so morally bankrupt that one begins to wonder, yes, and like I said before, if there are still real elders left in our land. In spite of the horrendous atrocities committed by Nyesomwike in Obi-Igbo against Biafrans, against Biafrans of Igbo extraction, against your children, Igwe Achebe, and other elders, you, the Igbo of Onitsha, still rolled out the red carpet for this mass murderer. IPOB will not forget, and IPOB will not forgive. There has been some very, it's as if, these people think that IPOB is now very much occupied with other issues, and they are no longer going to pay attention to the criminals parading themselves as courtists in Biafra land. Let me state clearly here that Biafra land is a courtesan-free land. A courtesan-free land. And we will ensure that it remains so. Those of you hearing me tonight, those of you doing hard men, you're hard man, you think nobody to hear them. You are doing hard man in our town, in our villages, in our cities, committing all sorts of crimes and extortion against Biafrans in the name of courtesan. Today is the 3rd, Tuesday the 3rd of May 2022. And from tonight, you have 14 days to turn a new leaf and be useful to yourself, your immediate family, and of course to our society in general. Those who have been compelled to belong to this very plight, a very terrible blight on our values. If you were forced to belong to this, or that you entered consciously and willingly and deliberately, you have 14 days from tonight to renounce courtesan. You have 14 days tonight to turn a new leaf and be useful to yourself and to your family. Parents and guardians, brothers and sisters and friends of these people that call themselves called hard men should do well to advise them to either find a new location outside of Biafra land to carry on with their activities of courtesan, or denounce courtesan in its entirety. IPOB will not, I repeat, IPOB will not allow Biafra land to become favelas and hotbeds for gangs as you have in South America. Not happen. And tonight we begin the countdown. You have the choice. The options are open for you. Choose one of them. If you want to leave, you renounce courtesan and turn a new leaf. Otherwise, you will be responsible for what happens to you. And nobody should be blamed for what will befall you. Because, like they say, well, I'll leave it for now. I said you have 14 days to turn a new leaf and become useful to yourself. After these 14 days, whoever in the name of cultism remained obstinate and have not renounced cultism, they and their sponsors should be ready to dance to the tune of music that will emanate from IPOB. There is a need for me to speak very briefly on IPOB USA family. And that briefly is that our people in the USA must understand one thing. Presently, we have IPOB. Well, let me put it this way. IPOB in USA is structured into 4 regions, and each region has a regional representative. If the 4 regions are occupied by principal servants, these 4 people will and remain, if not that will, they are the highest IPOB representative in USA. While we do not have a national coordinator, and we do not at the moment have a North American continental rep. These 4 individuals, they become automatically the highest ranking officers in USA, and they are the leadership of IPOB USA. Anyone therefore who is calling a leadership meeting outside of these 4 regional coordinators, we have the Pacific region, we have the Eastern region, we have the Coastal region, and we have the Mountain region, I believe. These 4 regions. Apart from the 4 representatives or 4 regional representatives, there is no one that has the power, the authority to convene a USA general meeting of IPOB family members, if not these 4 individuals, or at least the 3 of them, when if it is only 3, if the 4 regions do not have representatives, as the case may be. But they are the only authority that has the mandate to organize and call for a general meeting of IPOB family members. I am saying this so that people will not say that they did not know. I said this to the meeting I had with them last week, and I am happy that it sunk in. Now I'm making it also, I am doubling on that. I am making it more public for others who did not attend that meeting to be aware. If you are going to a meeting called by anybody, it does not matter. Especially those they call those who have left the assignment that they were given, the liaison group, calling a general meeting of IPOB leadership. If you go to those meetings, then we will count you as being part of those who are trying to weaken the structure of this movement, as the zoo themselves are trying to weaken the structure of this movement. And we will not allow that to happen. We will not tolerate that to happen. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed. I believe those who have heard me tonight, they will take the proper correction and do things accordingly. There is also a very disturbing news that I didn't want to even, I never hoped that we will talk about this, but let me say it tonight. Yes, we have bound Fulani cow consumption in our land and cow sales in our land. Yes, we have banned it for very, very cogent reasons, very, very good reasons. We have it. It is verboten. It is banned. It is banned. No, we don't need it. But this is not an avenue for people to begin to do what? To profiteer, to take advantage, undue advantage of our people, and begin to sell the native cows at a price that does not make sense. I want to tell you tonight, and everybody who's listening, please pay attention and tell those who have, those who have made it their duty to go into this animal husbandry and then rear our native cows. Please, you are not doing this in order to put extra burden, extra want on our people. That's not the reason. The reason is that we will because our Efibo is in our land. You did not import it from anywhere, and whatever they eat there is there in our land. And they had their prices prior to April of this year. They have their usual prices. Yes, I know it's the best cow meat that you can get, but we must ensure that unnecessary price increase of these cows do not take place in Biafra land. We will prefer to allow the forces of demand and supply to take its course. Yes, we will be grateful. We will be very happy to allow that to happen. And we know that yes, when there is shortage of production, then prices may go high. Yes, we know all this, but from the prices we are hearing, it cannot be that people will be so unconscionable to try and sell Efibo at prices that are very, very exorbitant. Let me tell you what is going to happen. Don't say I did not warn you. If we get information that somebody is selling Efibo at a price that does not make sense, we shall visit you honestly, we shall pay you a visit. And I don't think you will like that visit. So please, it is, all of us are suffering. All of us are making these sacrifices. There is no need for profiteering here. There is no need to sell Efibo for $500,000 naira when you know the price is half of that, for example. There's no need for that. So let us be our brother's keeper. I am encouraging again. I appreciate those who have gone into this business. I want to commend you. And I am encouraging many more of our people, our entrepreneurs, to go into this. This is, in fact, there's no investment that you can make in whether it is what do they call it, tech investment or banking or whatever, that you can reap more than what you're going to reap if you truly go into rearing of Biafran cows, Efibo, native cows. Within a space of 6 months, you will have been able to recover, in fact, all that you invested on that very project. So therefore, please, there should not be, it is unnecessary to put the prices of Efibo exorbitantly to make it unreachable for our people. Now, IPOB families worldwide are hereby directed to embark on fundraising at the national level. IPOB families worldwide, with the exception of Ground Zero, that is Biafra land, with the exception of Biafra land, IPOB in the diaspora, from Africa to Asia, from Asia to Australia or Oceanic, from Australia to America, North America and South America, and to Europe. Is there any continent that I missed? All of the families that we have in these continents, all the countries where we have presence, you are mandated from tonight to please put the processes of a national fundraising, IPOB national fundraising in place. All national coordinators, activate this process, please, immediately for this very assignment. Now, I want everybody to pay attention here. Request. I'm now addressing the national coordinators, those in the diaspora. Request for authorization for the fundraising from the Directorate of State through your continental rep. Request for authorization. Do not hold any fundraising without getting the proper authorization from the Directorate of State. And when you have received the needed permission, please inform the IPOB Head of Finance, Mrs. Sinanayanya, about this event, about the event that you're going to hold, because it has to do with money. Inform her, but before the information, before you inform her, you will have been given the permission, so that now you inform her and then bring her your flyer, the flyer for the event. Please as well make sure that you invite the IPOB Finance Head to your IPOB or ESN fundraising event. Authorization from the Directorate is a condition precedent to holding any fundraising in the name of IPOB or ESN. Authorization from the Directorate is a condition precedent before you can hold such fundraising in the name of IPOB. To avoid, of course, we informing Biafrans that your fundraising is not authorized. And Mrs. Bridget Okafor, you must take note. All that you have been doing outside the structure of IPOB, you must cease forthwith. You must cease forthwith from doing that. Don't think that we just kept quiet doesn't mean we don't know what to do. We have given a long rope. There is nobody who speaks for IPOB apart from the leadership. Not our international lawyers or our local lawyers. They have their briefs, and their briefs has to do with what? Legal matters. They concentrate on that, they face that. If we as a family need advice on legal issues, we go to them. But don't come as our lawyer and begin to speak as a leader of IPOB. That will not be tolerated anymore. Those who have done that, you take note, because they say that if it comes to that the king does not behave very well, you can cover yourself and then tell him the truth, the honest truth. I am saying this so that people may not say that IPOB has come again. We have a structure, we have a way we do things, we have procedure, we have processes, and that must be followed. It does not matter who you are. If you're part of this family, you must be under the structure that our leader has put in place. Otherwise, we will give you the treatment of those who are not part of this family. have a few announcements to make. Well, let me say not a few, but just maybe one announcement to make tonight. And before I make that announcement, I want to commend IPOB UK family, because they are gradually but surely returning to its former enviable position amongst IPOB family worldwide. There are very clear signs that the family is on the path of full recovery, and it is our duty to support and encourage them to attain their full potential. All the regional reps in the UK are enjoined and encouraged to continue to work assiduously for the growth of IPOB UK family. To assist you in this regard, the following persons are hereby appointed to these positions of service. Please, you may pardon me, because I am used to calling our men Mazi. You may have titles and all the rest of it. It's not a slight on your title, but I am, I so much love this word Mazi. It means so much, and I like to address people with that. So the first name I have here is Mazi. People also know him as Chief Nice Nwokoro. Mazi Nice Nwokoro. He has been a coordinator in UK up to this moment. He has been appointed at this very hour to lead the IPOB UK family as the national coordinator. Mazi also, he is known by or with the name Dr. Onyeka Ekekwe. Mazi Onyeka Ekekwe is also an IPOB principal servant in the IPOB family in Aberdeen, Scotland. And tonight he has been appointed to deputize Mazi Nice Nwokoro as the deputy IPOB UK national coordinator. And we have Mlada Chinyere Ihuba, also a very hardcore IPOB family member in UK. Mlada Chinyere Ihuba is appointed IPOB National Secretary for the UK family. I am calling all of you, family members in the UK, principal officers from the regional reps down to the unit coordinators, those who have served before and those who have never served before. All of you, if you are a hardcore IPOB family member, if you are loyal and you believe in the structure of our leader, I want to call upon you tonight to give these individuals that have been mentioned tonight the maximum cooperation, the maximum support, and help and work with them to make sure that IPOB UK is back on its feet. It was comatose for a while. Honestly, I have to say this, but for the past weeks or thereabout, the changes, even the last rally that was done in UK was in fact it was like it used to be before, and I think that of course there is still much work to be done, but I believe that these individuals that have been given this responsibility now, your loyalty is not to any individual. Your loyalty is to our leader,